Hi, I'm Jackie from Ziflow here in Hollywood, California for Creative Operations 2023. We're here to connect with marketing and creative ops leaders and ask them some challenging questions about their creative process. For example, which is easier, managing the creative process itself or managing creative stakeholders?
I think managing the creative process is much easier because I can sort of control it and use best practices and I can map it out and it's great and it all makes sense on paper, but the actual rollout with humans is a lot harder, but interesting and more rewarding.
Depends on the subject matter, depends on how structured a team is. I'm coming from a space where as a more recruiter and account manager, I can see the pain points that happen on both sides on, whether it's the process or whether it's the stakeholders that are coming into play. I think in simple terms, I would say that the process can be a bit more convoluted in a lot of ways. Depending upon kind of what your end goal is, I can see how there'd be a lot more pain points within that. And hopefully for me, I'm the kind of person that comes in and tries to manage stakeholders and really be able to find the right ways to get them what they're looking for.
I don't know. I would say process is a little more predictable on the whole. Stakeholders are, just crazy, wily humans.
Managing the creative process for sure.
And why is that?
Because the process is systematic, it's governed, it's very clear about timings, tasks, deliverables. That's what the process does. But people have to own and drive the process. And the people are the difficult part because they're people, they're complex in nature. They have issues, they have egos, they have challenges. And that is the hardest part to drive any enterprise, to be honest, in our experience.
I would say it's kind of goes hand in hand, but it's easier to jot down a creative process that you want. You have a vision for how to make it work, but managing the stakeholders to follow that process is another story.
I think both can be challenging, but managing creative stakeholders is definitely harder.
And why do you think that?
Well, they're often creative, which is a fun, unique type of people to work with. They're great. Timelines and things like that aren't always, the most important top of mind for them. So it just takes a little bit to remind them and work with them.
Probably the process, because there aren't that many elements. Well, you can manipulate the elements a little bit more easily than you can with people's personalities.
It's just stakeholders having, their vision and us trying to measure up to that vision, using our typical process and just having them understand the process and like giving creative feedback and, stuff like that. I think it's probably more difficult when the stakeholders are involved.
Both are tough, but if I had to pick, I would say that managing the stakeholders is harder and managing the process is easier.
And why do you say that?
Because there's so many different working styles, so many different types of people, opinions, egos that you have to deal with coming in, trying to make one decision. It's a lot to manage.
Managing the creative process.
And why is that?
I think both are like wrangling a wild beast, but I think that the process, at least you can have a good set of tracks of work set up for people to march to. People are a little unpredictable and God love us all, we're humans and we're complex. So it's just the way it works.